make it 3 in a row as the Edmonton Elks, they defeat the Hamilton Tiger Cats 47-22. They improved to 3-7 on the season. Welcome to the Green and Gold post-game show live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. We're live at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge, where every day is game day, and we are actually really bright on the camera today. I'll just say that. Iwanyk and Jay Milne.
Down a couple notches?
I think we're good. People can watch us closely, nice and close. Although, are we going to get any copyright issues because we got the pay-per-view of UFC on that massive TV behind us? I don't know if that's going to cause any problems. But if you want to watch the UFC pay-per-view and get your Elks post-game conversation, there's only one place, and that's right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Iwanyk, Jay Milne with you here. Your thoughts welcome. 780-218-9999. That is the Parish Jewelers inbox, or you can jump into the nasty chat. Larry Thompson, 1-0 in the Larry Thompson era with the Edmonton Elks. Jay, before we get fully going into this, your thoughts on what we saw down at Tim Hortons Field with the Elks winning their 3rd in a row?
Well, I mean, it was a dominant performance by the Double E.
Actually, sorry, before you continue, Dave in the nasty chat goes, boys, is it too soon to predict the Larry Thompson Elks may never lose again? I don't think it's too soon to predict that at all. Sorry.
It was a dominant performance by the Double E today. I mean, if you look at all the stats, if you look at time of possession, you look at field position, I guess they just scored. They were able to capitalize and put the ball in the end zone. I mean, the number one discussion here is run the damn ball. Because guess what? It works.
If you could be successful at it, it works. And I think that's part of a little bit of, we saw the third quarter, this team kind of lose momentum, not have the steam. And then there's a couple of reasons for them. We'll get into that as the show goes on. But I also think Javon Lee got hurt in this game.
Yes.
And Javon Lee, actually the Elks, that if there's one problem from today, there's a few names on the injured list from the Edmonton Elks that are a little concerning. Noah Curtis left the game. He didn't come back. Javon Leake injury. At least Kevin Brown is still sitting there. That's not good. Also, before we continue moving forward, rough way to start this game.
Yeah.
As Akuna Vanen, just a crushing injury to start. Needed to be ambulanced away. Obviously, thoughts, prayers with him. Hopefully Edmonton guy. Hopefully he's going to be, get past this and whatever it is. I hadn't seen an update, but a rough way to start this game. And then the ambulance left. They need to wait for another ambulance. But hoping for all the best for him. But from that, the Elks had their injuries today. That would be the one concern I have coming from this.
Yeah.
Noah Curtis is a big player on that D line.
He leads the CFL in sacks.
But Javon Leake was one, they needed to find a way to get ranking going a little bit more. They did, and then it continued. See ya, Ken. I interrupted you, so I'll let you continue.
First things first.
Oh, you got your 6 o'clock or longer going.
Nice, tasty sip of this beverage. I hope this is a tradition, because I sure love having a frothy cold beer.
Busy house today here at Century Casino. Just beyond it being busy with everyone else here. YouTube Trev showed up. We had Ken show up. Caster 1990 in the nasty chat. We had Tube Sock show up. We had Vera Martinengo show up. We had Fergie's Prostate show up. Sheldon showed up. A couple of my buddies were here. Great night here at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. And then the Elks, they ultimately win this game. Let's start with that first half before we continue on.
Yeah, it was good.
There's just nothing stopping them. Hamilton had nothing. Hamilton, how did they... Here's a question. How did Hamilton destroy this Elks team just a few weeks ago? They're an awful-looking football team.
It was a different
But how in 3 weeks do they look so terrible when they haven't, at least for the Elks, you can say, well, Trey Ford came out. I know he wasn't there today, but Trey Ford sparked this team. What do they have?
Matt, I've said this all year, that emotion matters. And getting on a streak matters in that locker room. This team tonight was a completely different team than Hamilton faced when they came to Commonwealth. This team now believes. They believe. This was a dominant victory.
Well, it really wasn't in doubt.
No.
Until a little bit late third quarter, where, to me, part of that is there is always a risk when you get up so big in a game. When you're at 32-3. at halftime.
Should I show you the text that Reed was sending me?
Reed Wilkins of the Reed Wilkins Show.
I'm nervous, Jay.
Well, but when you get up such a it's hard. Like, how do you keep that motivation to keep playing? Because you don't want to just keep going at it. Like,
yeah, you do.
But
you want you do it, Matt. The final score was 47-22
because they had to pick it back up because they allowed the Ticats
over doubled
back.
them up.
Yeah,
you don't see scores like this in the CFL.
Right, but the Ticats had a 13-0 third quarter. That's what, like, when you get to such a big lead, it can, there's that risk of you don't keep. You hold back a little bit. You're not going to go and you don't want to get injured. You don't want to open up too much of the playbook. You don't want to fully disrespect your opponent because they might do something stupid to really go at you and lead to an injury or something. But you still have a half of football to play. And there's that balancing act. And today the Elks went a little too conservative for a period of time. They got into a little bit of a rut. The Ticats were able to get 13 points in that third quarter. They were the better team in the third. But then the fourth quarter, the Elks put it back on. They picked it back up, and they finished this football game.
Look at this stat. Hamilton had 65 offensive plays. Edmonton had 48.
You got the time of possession. Hamilton
had a 32-minute and 31-second time of possession. Edmonton had 27-29. Hamilton had 11 penalties for 100 yards. Edmonton had 4 for 53. Here's where the story's told, Matt.
I'm glad you're going there.
Hamilton had 4 turnovers.
Elks 21 points off 3 turnovers in the first half. That was one of the biggest reasons. Like, you even had that pick.
Earlier in the year, sorry to interrupt, I'll let you make your point, but earlier in the year, they would have turned those 3 that is 100% efficiency.
Oh, 100%.
They would have turned that into 6 points.
It would have been
a 15-point difference.
0 to 10 points. They would have got up.
If you take 15 points off the score, it's a close game.
But even at the time, like they took out the turnover right at the end zone. They allowed the Ticats to march the field, but then it's that we'll take that ball. We'll take that from you.
Yeah.
And then, getting points and stuff. Like, overall, this team, PT Mark in the Paris Jewelers inbox, he goes, the scary thing is this team could have won at least 3 or 4 of those 7 losses.
I know.
Now, the other part to that is, Trey Ford, did that affect that little change? What if that fully happened? But this team, we talked about it in those first few weeks. There's talent here. There was talent here. They just needed to get some of those wins. And now we're seeing what happens. I will say this, MBT, not that sharp. I don't think it was a great game from a Club. It was a fine game. It was a fine game.
Hey, he won his first game.
He won his first game with the Edmonton Elks.
Yeah.
He also, if Trey Ford is healthy, he doesn't get to keep his. Trey Ford gets to go back.
Hey, guess what? MBT was 15 of 23, 234 yards, and 2 tutties. But you know what? Justin Rankin was 17 of 108 and 3 touchdowns. Javon Leake added another touchdown. Oh, look who's moonlighting on us. That's our dearest YTT. Do you want to say something to the peeps? Here, say something to the peeps.
Don't think. Yeah, just.
Okay, so first initial thoughts. Obviously, just a great crowd here tonight. But the Elks did it. It was a great game. MBT, just unbelievable. And Elks fans should expect that from now on. He is the guy. I don't care what anyone else says. MBT is the guy, okay? That's all I got for you tonight. This is YouTube Trev. And you guys are absolutely crushing it. Have a good one, guys. This is so much fun. Let's go.
There's YouTube Trev. MBT is not the guy. He's fine, but Trey is the guy. Big Uke in the nasty chat. Plus 10,000 for the Elks to win the Grey Cup. Looked a lot better than it did 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Dustin with the Y cashing on the turnovers was huge. Shotgun Sports Network, which is Scout from the Elks call. Elks haven't hit this hard all year. D and special teams played well in that first half. Zulu, amazing how good they look when they actually commit to running the ball. LOL.
Yeah.
Box Pounder, those first 7 games preseason. You can see the Elks' confidence grow. Like YouTube Trev reading an update. Jasmine, Maddie and Milne better be tipsy for the content. Don't worry, I'm quite responsible when it comes to that stuff. So I had my 1 drink and I am good. But the pizza was delicious. I really enjoyed it.
Hang on, Jet.
Stampater, Paris Jewelers inbox. First half, thoughts with Luther Hakunavanu. Hope he is okay. On to the game. It is amazing how much better. Hakunavanu. Hope he is okay. On to the game. It is amazing how much better a team could look when the offense and defensive lines dominate. Oakman coming in changed this team's attitude. They play with such swagger right now. Just overall, like they're this team does look good. And what did we say earlier? I wonder if the CFL's updated the stats. The Edmonton Elks, they're 3-7. They have a plus points differential. Also, this was their first 3-game win streak during a season since 2008. They did it partway in between 2018, I should say, the 2018 season. The Elks have won 3 in a row. Or the Elks, this is the first time as Elks they've done it. This franchise, first time since 2018. But they sit 2 points back of a playoff spot of the Calgary Stampeders. They sit 4 points back of the BC Lions for second. They also currently hold the tiebreaker against the BC Lions. They don't play BC again anyway, so they've won the tiebreaker against the BC Lions. And they're only 5 points back at the Saskatchewan Roughriders for first in the West. Like, the playoff race is on. This was the thing. Like, we get Montreal next week, which will be a very interesting test. Right before the show, we were already disagreeing.
Yeah, I want them to go and win that game.
And look, I want them to win it.
Of course you do. But I
Montreal
think, given the confidence they have,
Montreal
they
is
can.
the favorite. Montreal's the absolute
They
favorite.
should be.
You have to go to Montreal.
That's okay. They're 9-1. They could be 9-2 as of next week.
I'm marking that as a loss right now.
Well, you would.
But then it's those 4 games in September.
But you don't understand the feeling of having a 3-game winning streak. You don't. That team is so cohesive right now. And you can see it on the field. You cannot have watched that game.
Montreal's on a 4-game winning streak.
So something's got to give.
Absolutely, but one team's home and on a 4-game win streak and is overall a better football team this year, and one team's on a 3-game win streak. So of course, you can't just. There's going to be swagger from the other side.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize this with the Montreal Alouettes pre and post.
No, what I'm saying is, it's called being objective and fair.
No, it's not.
I look at the Montreal. I'm just saying, I'm going to go into that. They're not the favorite. I'm giving them that loss. I hope they go win it, and they're good enough to go challenge. We saw them lose by just 3 points against the Owls earlier this year. But I'm going to give them that loss. Just mark it down right now as an L. It's September stretch. It's Calgary, Winnipeg. If this team's going to make the playoffs, they've now put themselves in that spot. Even if they drop to 3-8, they go win 3 or 4 of those football games in September, we're very likely looking at a team that's close to going to be in the playoffs, which is wild to say.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous to say. But they have to go do it. And right now,
it's not ridiculous if you look at the standings.
Well, but if you think about where we were just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
We watched the head coach and general manager get fired. We saw the star quarterback get benched. And here we are.
If Trey Ford is starting next week, I'm predicting they will win. Macbeth doesn't have it in his toolbox. Trey Ford does. But I just keep pouring over the stat sheet here. Cool bet cash of the day.
I want to say Eugene Lewis with a massive game. Eugene Lewis, 5 catches, 93 yards, had his biggest game in quite a few weeks.
Welcome back.
8 targets in this game.
Do you know what show that's from?
No.
Welcome Back, Cotter.
Oh.
Do you even know what that is?
I do because
Welcome Back.
Bob Stauffer used to go. He'd have fake texts to the show, and they'd be from Epstein's mother. When you heard Bob say Epstein's mother, it was him saying his thoughts, but didn't want to put his name behind it. I had to call him on it, or he wanted me to call him on it. One of the last shows him and I ever did together. So that's the only reason I know Welcome to Cotter. Welcome back, Cotter.
What a great show.
That's the only reason I know.
Anyways, continue.
But just Eugene Lewis, getting those targets and having that big game. And it's been a while for that. Dylan Mitchell having a touchdown. Now, didn't have a big stats-wise, only 2 catches, 19 yards, but him getting back in the end zone. We've seen Eugene Lewis and Dylan Mitchell kind of be quiet for a number of weeks. And, you called it before this game that Eugene Lewis lost what was it? 7 years,
consecutive receptions.
77 straight games or something like that where he had at least one reception.
77 games.
Lost it last week.
Guess what? They fed him.
8 targets, 5 catches, got 93 yards. Was huge in this game.
Well, and that might be enough of a statement to say, hey, hello, McFly, you have a really good receiver in Eugene Lewis. Why not send him the ball a little bit more than, 1 target or 2 targets? Yes. 8 targets is in his wheelhouse, and that's how it should be. So I'm glad to see that. Nailed that one. That was easy. How'd you do on your cool bet?
I didn't get it. Tevin Jones anytime?
Kind of sounds like your night.
Actually, on the ponies, I started off very rough.
Yeah, you did come back.
I did get a couple wins. I've lost. I've got a couple bets here that I got to go put in the machine after to see what happens. I don't know. I also bet on some races that aren't even on the screens here.
Oh, and hey.
And they didn't even know what was happening.
We learned the guy's name.
Well, don't say like that.
Why?
Our buddy. He's our buddy. Sandy's here.
Well, these are our friends.
Sandy was the one that I'll say that after I'll give Sandy credit from Century because we're not.
I gave him $20 too. See what he can turn it in.
Sandy, after the Elks beat the Riders a couple weeks ago, he said, I'm betting on the Elks to win the Grey Cup.
Yeah.
And he went to go do it, but it wasn't on the book. It wasn't there. He couldn't do it. But he said it and he went to go do it. And I will give Sandy credit for that he was on the Elks like a couple weeks ago. I'm like, no, they're going to go win the Grey Cup. Now, am I on them? They're going to make the Grey Cup? No. I'm still not there. But I'll give credit to Sandy for that. But yeah, like overall, this was a solid team game. We talk about the facets. You were talking about that in the kickoff show. We talk about that. And we always talk about that.
Yeah. And they won tonight.
They won all three.
All three.
It wasn't even close.
And look at the score.
It wasn't even
47
close.
47 to 22.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you put a dominant performance in on all three facets of a football game. It's not rocket science. And thank God, between Justin Rankin and Javon Leake, they had 22 carries. That should be the standard for this team moving forward because it seems to work.
And we'll have to see what the status of Javon Leake is. But in any way, you got Kevin Brown coming in.
Well, we'll see what happens.
That's at least some depth.
Well, I will say Kevin Brown and Justin Rankin are akin in their running styles. Yep. They'll get you hard yards. Did you see that stiff arm Kevin or Justin Rankin did tonight? Like, that's the kind of runner they are. Javon Leake is speed, precision, in, out, boom, up the hole, right? So if Javon Leake's out, you're missing the home run hitter in Javon Leake. But, reports haven't come back yet. We don't know much about it. So we'll see what comes through the week.
Well, let's go there. I want to see what I've seen here. Go through our official. Yeah, they just had. He was questioned. Phil Grahovac, offensive lineman. He was out for the game with an upper body injury as well.
I think it must have been warm out there because I know for a fact that Jake Taylor was just couldn't keep his levels right. When you cramp up and whatnot.
When I looked at the weather earlier, it was supposed to rain, and we didn't see anything like that there.
So we'll see.
Hopefully, Noah Curtis is the one that I'm most concerned by, actually, more than Javon Leake. Javon Leake is a very close second, but Noah Curtis just has been very good for that D-line, and the fact that they have the depth with Kevin Brown. But good news for the Elks. It's Saturday this week. They play next Sunday.
Yeah.
It's a nice longer week. And then that even works for Trey Ford, of getting him healthy and seeing if he's ready to go. But, okay, here's the question I will throw when it comes to this. If Trey Ford, let's say, is still 85% or something. Not exactly at 100, maybe 95.
Don't play him.
I'm with you.
Don't play him. There's no need. You're going into a game by the book you're not supposed to win.
Yes, and no team ever thinks we're going to lose.
No, of course
but it's one that it's not necessarily that.
Don't do it. Get him back. You tell it. I know what you're going to say.
It's like it's. I want to. Yeah, it's that one spot on the card. Okay, the result is the result. It is what it is type thing.
Yeah.
It's the Labor Days are coming, the 2 games against Calgary, the Winnipegs are coming. That's where your season's going to be defined.
Yes.
Make sure Trey is healthy for that. And if it takes one more, if they lost today, different. You need to go get that win.
Yeah.
But you won 3 in a row, and that's where I go back to the 3-8. I'm going to give them that 3-8. If you're Jarius Jackson, look at that. Okay, if you go to 3-8, but you go win the 4 games in September, well, now you're 7-8, and you're right in that conversation where you still have, it would be Toronto, Saskatchewan, and Winnipeg one more time.
Yeah.
You're right there, but you need Trey for that. You need to make sure he's healthy. So I look at it and go, if Trey feels like I'm just a little off, you sit there and go, look, Trey, you will start Labor Day. We will start you Labor Day.
Yes.
We're going to make sure you're healthy. We're going to make sure we're going to give you.
That's only 2 weeks away, right? So
I would rest 2 weeks in a couple days, right?
I would rest him in Montreal 100%. You're right.
But only if he's not 100. Matt, if he's saying I'm 100 and the doctors go he's 100,
he sure looked good on the bench tonight.
Then he goes. Then he plays.
He didn't look like somebody that was injured or somebody that was laboring anything. He looked very relaxed, very calm on the bench. So as far as I can say, I think Trey Ford could play next week, Matt. But okay, if you're not 100, and I can come up and slap you in the ribs and it doesn't hurt, then you can play.
It has to be a full 100.
Yeah.
If you're telling me you're 97, to me, it's one I'm sitting there going, nope. But Trey, you will be the starter. We will start you on Labor Day.
Yeah.
But take that extra week and a bit. Like, we want you ready for that because we need those 2 games.
If you have to minimal split. I think it's
if you split that, you need to sweep the 2 Winnipeg games.
Well, they can't go worse than what's happening in the Western Conference.
They can't go worse than 3 and 4 or 3 of 4 in that September. You can't go 500 because the problem with that is you don't gain ground on Calgary or Winnipeg. If you split those 2 series, you sit in the exact same spot.
Yeah, I see what you're.
You need to go get some. It's those 4-point games. You need to go get those wins. So they need to go. So that's where I go. They need to go 3 of 4. They need to either sweep the Calgary series or they need to go sweep the Winnipegs and split the Calgarys. But let's say, I don't know, who does Calgary get next week? Calgary's on a bye next week. Wow, they're on that's a long time off. That might hurt them to start Labor Day. The rust versus rest type thing. But okay, let's say the Elks lose to Montreal next week. The Elks will be 2 points back of Calgary, but Calgary has a game in hand. Even if Edmonton beats Montreal, the Elks would be tied with Calgary, but Calgary has a game in hand. You got to make up. If you go split that series, it's the exact same. Whereas if you sweep,
if you sweep, it's game on. It's on like dogs.
It's huge.
But let's just I'm being reminded by Deacon St. John. This guy is an astute CFL fan. How about that game, Rankin? Had we talked about it earlier, we actually talked about it right off the hop, but 17 for 108, 3 tutties, and he was throwing people around. Mm-hmm. It was gross. It was awesome. It was magical. It was mystical. If you can deliver a running game like this, and there's no reason that... So now, hey, newsflash, it's not the O-line. O-line's been playing pretty damn good. It was the system. Run the damn ball. Feed the ball. That's how you get teams off balance. It's not rocket science. When you're running the ball and you commit to the run game, this is what happens. And now, out of nowhere, Justin Rankin might become Offensive Player of the Week. Out of nowhere. So, yeah, I just... And credits due where it's due. Jarius Jackson has committed to the run.
Well, but why wasn't he doing that earlier?
I don't know.
Let's say that.
Well, somebody else was here.
Wow, but he shouldn't have been involved like that. I don't think Chris Jones is in there, let's not run the football. I will say this.
Maybe he would.
I'll give props to Chris Jones. He found Justin Rankin. He was the GM. He signed him. Thank you, Chris Jones from the city of Edmonton.
Yeah, round of clicks.
Round of clicks for him.
Beat it. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out.
Abutski in the nasty chat. Winning is awesome. Winning with a dominant running game is the best. I'd love a good run game, too. Like, I grew up running. It's more, I enjoy it more than the passing.
You're a Baltimore Ravens fan.
Jamal Lewis is what I grew up on. It was like, I want the running back. I love the running back. And when you do it in the Canadian Football League with 2 downs,
yeah,
there's just something more sweet with it and beautiful with it. John Cuppers, great first half by the Elks. Interesting second half, though. And yeah, that's where but to John there, that's the risk, though, and that's the challenge of being up so big so early, is it's the playing the prevent defense, trying to run out the clock without wanting to keep going. And how do you balance that? And the Elks got caught. They got a little bit of in a rut. They couldn't get anything going. The Ticats found a little something going. But then the Elks turned it back on in the fourth quarter and finished this game off.
That's the important thing. We've had 2 games in a row where they've had lackluster third quarters.
Yeah, that's fair.
Whereas if weeks 1 to 5, you would have said, oh, here we go again. Here we go. They're going to disappoint us. They're going to let us down. But they didn't. The defense stood on their head. They created turnovers. They got the ball back. They made big stops when they needed. Like, there was a point, it was 32-16. And they made a second and long stop that forced Hamilton into a punt. That is big boy football. Because if Hamilton, you could feel there was a little bit of momentum swing in the third quarter. That stopped it. That second down stop thwarted any thoughts of a comeback. So kudos to the defense. I mean, all facets were firing. My boy Beatty didn't miss one kick.
He did not. We're
going to have to, instead of calling it a Beatty, we're going to have to start calling it a Lawther.
It's still Beatty until further.
No, it's not after last night.
I don't care.
It's a Lawther.
Beatty missed them earlier.
Brett Lawther's been having a rough year.
And so was Beatty, and Beatty missed last week. He started it.
Brett Lawther's probably missed as many kicks as Beatty.
Stats. We'll do this live on the air. As this is the Green and Gold post-game show. Iwanyk and Jay Milne with you live at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge, where the Edmonton Elks, they defeated the Ticats 47-22, won their third straight game. They've improved to 3-7 on this. Here we go. What did you say? He made as many?
He's missed as many.
Lawther's missed 10. Beatty's missed less than 10.
There you go.
But Beatty's percentage, Beatty's up to 72.7 to 74.1.
Don't mess with me, man.
But Beatty missed last week. I'm still putting on Beatty.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about this. Let's talk about David in the Nasty Chat said the Owls are on a 4-game streak, but the Command Center gifted Montreal the victory by messing up on the QB out of bounds, and the Riders kicker having the worst game of all time. Elks have a chance next week. Can we talk about that missed out of bounds thing? Like, viewers in their TV room were looking at the TV saying, oh yeah, he's out of bounds.
I didn't see it right off the bat.
In the Command Center.
No, I think most people didn't see it until after the game, I feel. Because as you're watching...
Well, what the hell did...
I know, but because when I was watching that game, I was looking where his feet were, but for when it planted.
No, it's after it moved.
I know, I didn't pay attention to the after moves. And then after, because the entire time as they were showing the replay, I'm like, well, he's clearly in bounds. Yeah. And then after the game, people started posting that picture, and it's like, ooh. Now, the one question, when you see the side angle with the full video, his foot's coming up. So is it just up over the white, or is it slid onto the white and up? And that's where the CFL is.
It was out.
But his foot came up. Naturally, your foot comes up.
No, but it's still your cleats are out.
Well, but here's the thing. They called on the field touchdown. So can you conclusively say he was touching it? I understand why the CFL Command
Center.
No, because you can see, when you watch the side angle, you can see his foot's coming up.
All right, I'll show you something.
You show me something.
This is awesome, riveting live radio.
Well, what do you like? Don't show me a picture. I don't want a picture. I don't want pictures. But the Command Center's been struggling. It's been rough.
It's a joke.
I think we saw a little bit.
Here's the video.
Yeah.
Right there.
But his foot's coming up.
No, he's out of bounds.
But where's when the foot
you're touching the white, you're out of bounds.
But watch this. But when your foot starts coming up, it looks like it's over. That's the problem. Now, no one on camera could see that, but it comes down as you're coming up. It looks like you'd be over, but you slide this way.
No, it's the
angle. Now, do I believe he touched that? Yes, I do. But can you conclusively say that he did? That's where the CFL is making that argument.
Yeah, true.
But we also go we also go that people want to just get rid of the Command Center and they want to get rid of reviews. And this week we're talking about, well, they didn't do a good enough job with the reviews. Which one do people want? Do they want the reviews, or do we not want the reviews, and do we want to have human error?
Yeah, but if the reviews are actually working and they're actually delivering results, that is a debacle. That is an embarrassment that you cannot have. Who's got this video then?
I'll say that I don't give a damn, because screw the Riders.
Yeah, I had a lot of money on them last night.
I don't care. The Elks are trying to catch the Riders at the top of the division. I have no sympathy for the Riders. I'm sorry, Lucas Holt. I'm sorry, Lieutenant Eric.
No, you're not.
Screw the Riders.
You're not sorry.
For them, I am.
You don't have a sorry bone in your body.
For them, I am. They're my buddies.
You do not feel sorry for them. You should feel sorry for me, who put my hard-earned money into it and got burnt by a bad call.
Don't bet on the Riders. Screw the Riders.
They should have won that game.
Don't bet on the Riders. How dare you bet on the Riders?
Matt, when money's...
this isn't the Riders...
There's money to be made. There's money to be made.
This isn't the green and white post-game show. This is the green and gold post-game show.
Fine.
We're not betting on the Huskies and the Rams and the Riders here in Alberta. How dare you?
How dare me. If you're listening, watching right now, as Matt always likes to say, hit that thumbs up.
No, I don't like saying that. You do. I want the subscribers.
Yeah,
I want the subscribers.
Hey, you know what? Hey, Dum. If you want to get more subscribers, get more likes.
No, that does nothing with the subscribers.
Yes, it does.
We are 4 subscribers away from 9,700. If you are watching this right now, please subscribe if you're not already subscribing. I want to hit 9,700 by the end of this show.
Wow.
I would be forever grateful.
Wow. We can do it.
Please, 4 more. We just need 4 more of you who are not subscribing to please subscribe. That's all it is. I don't want to
go to your wife's phone, go to your kid's phone. Go, if you're at your parents' house, go to their phones and sign up.
I don't want to have to go through, like, a telethon type thing here. Hey, subscribe today and you can win this
EST for
fresh
Hope
nap or something right now. The
EST for Hope.
We'll do that when we're closer to 10,000. But please, give us a subscribe. I want to go through a subscription. I want to go through the stats of the game today. McLeod Bethel Thompson, 15 of 23.
Owen just subscribed and gave you a thumbs up. Yes, he did.
It showed up.
We can do it. We can
3 more.
You know what? Hey, why don't we just say this? We're not leaving this until we get to it.
I'll create another account to get to it.
Good. We ain't leaving until we get to 90, whatever it is.
9,700. McLeod Bethel Thompson, 15 of 23, 234 yards, 2 touchdowns. Rankin, 17 carries, 108 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He also caught the ball once for 4 yards. Javon Leake, before he left the game with an injury, 5 rushes for 12 yards and a touchdown. He also caught the ball once for 11 yards. Eugene Lewis leading the way, receiving 5 catches for 93 yards. Gittins Jr., 4 catches, 35 yards, and a touchdown. Dylan Mitchell, 2 catches, 19 yards and a touchdown. Hergy Mayala, 1 catch for 44 yards. Tevin Jones, 1 catch for 28 yards. Defensively leading the way, 3 guys, Morgan, Gray, and Anderson, all with 6 tackles. No quarterback sacks in this game. As you mentioned, Boris Beatty, 1 for 1 from 32, but 6 for 6 on the extra points. When you look at the Ticats before he got hurt and left the game, Taylor Powell was 2 of 3 for 20 yards, 1 carry for 17 yards. Also would have had a fumble in there. Boldy by Mitchell, 23 of 34, 294 yards, 2 interceptions with 1 touchdown. And then Frost, I don't even know who this is, H. Frost. What's his first?
Well, while you're looking that up, I'm just going to give a shout out to my wife and my 3 daughters are listening from Saskatoon. They're out at a horse show. They've left me alone to my own devices. I'm crumbling without them. I don't know what to do. I managed to get the lawn cut today, but I'm lost. So please, come home.
No one wants to stay in Saskatchewan, although I do like Saskatoon.
Actually, Saskatoon's river area is beautiful.
Oh, Saskatoon's a great city. Harrison Frost, 18 of 12, 95 yards, and a touchdown. Bell leading the way. He replaced James Butler in the backfield, who was a healthy scratch. He did really well today. 12 carries, 85 yards, and a touchdown. He caught the ball 6 times for 88 yards and a touchdown as well. Receiving-wise, Keandre Smith, in terms of catches, 9 catches for 86 yards, but Shamar Bridges, 7 catches for 100 yards and a touchdown. Dunbar Jr. also had 6 catches for 72 yards. They had 3 guys with 4 tackles. They sacked MBT 3 times. They struggled tackling tonight. And kicking-wise, Leggio, 1 for 1, 32 yards. He also was perfect from extra points, but that was only a single extra point he kicked. Matt Lamoureux missed the game. Are the Elks still playing 4? No, but that's because he's injured. He was out due to a rib injury. We'll see if he could come back for next week. Bootski still rooting for Jay's Wildcats tomorrow, even after a friendly member of the Regina Thunder coaching staff showed me where they hide the panini sandwiches at the Sherwood Park Italian Center shop. Is it already season?
Yeah.
Is it regular season or
they're
an
0-1. They lost to the Calgary Colts last weekend. They are home to the Regina Thunder tomorrow at Emerald Hills in Sherwood Park. I unfortunately can't make it as I have my NFL fantasy draft. And it's not like one where like everybody comes to my house and we all do it in the garage. And
you do it. You host too.
Yeah.
Good for you.
It's a banger. Like we put the stickers on the board.
This Thursday, the Golden Bears begin preseason one game, and then their season gets going on August 30th. We're 2 subscribers away from 9,700. Just throwing that out there. Just going to throw that out there to you.
We're 2? We ain't leaving until we get it.
And we're just 2 away.
Okay, so subscribe.
_edits. When do we start talking about home playoff game? Not in jest. If they could go 3 of the next 5, I think we could start talking about it. If they could go sweep Winnipeg or Calgary, and in the other one split that series, I think maybe there's a potential we could start looking at. Potentially. It also depends on how they do fully. If they sweep September completely, 100% we're looking at the idea of could there be a home playoff date. But they got to go win those football games. Right now, I will say this. They need to go win that Labor Day game for a business perspective. I don't care about next week against Montreal. If they could win 4 or 5 going into that Labor Day rematch, tickets are already starting to go a little bit for that one.
I saw that. I saw that on Twitter that they're starting to sell. And Norm, you were in the nasty chat asking what horse show they're at. They are at the Classic Cow Horse for Charity and Derby show in Saskatoon.
Okay, Sarah Cole says, I'm waiting until you're 1 away from to subscribe. We're 1
Now's
away.
the time. Do it.
$96.99. We're there.
Do it.
We're 1 away from 9,700. Sarah, be 9,700.
Do it.
But no, like I'll be intrigued to see the type of thing. You might have Trey Ford starting. I'm expecting him to be starting healthy. A winning football team. New ownership. A lot of buzz in the air around this team.
1-0.
Well, like he's 100%. He's the greatest owner.
Perfect.
He is the greatest owner in Edmonton Elks history. He is the greatest owner in Elks history.
He is perfect. We did it!
Yeah, we did it.
We did it.
We did it.
We did it.
Yeah, Sarah, you came through. You came through, Sarah.
This might be the moment of the year.
She goes, done, LOL. You did it, Sarah.
Sarah! Round of clicks for Sarah.
Round of clicks for all of you who subscribed.
Yeah, all 9,700.
I will say that now over the next 2 weeks. Like, we're done with the subscriber push today.
We're going for 98.
We got 2 more weeks.
Yeah.
2 more weeks to get 300 more subscribers. So that push will come a little bit later. But thank you to Sarah and Scalding Gourd in the Paris Jewelers inbox. Show some leg, Maddie. That'll get you over 9,700. No, that will take subscribers away.
Yeah,
that will keep the subscribers. People get that in the Hangout enough, I think. People see my legs a little bit too much in the Hangout. This is like...
What a time to be alive. Well, we saw 9,700 on the night that the Double E won 47. Wait, is this night going to get any better?
This is a team that's starting. Like, the question we had after the Saskatchewan win, has this team turned the corner? We're all like, maybe not so sure. And I said after the game, I think so. And then they won last week, and I'm like, they turned it around. This is showing it again. Like, I was a little concerned coming to this game because of the meeting from a couple weeks ago, and no Trey Ford.
Yeah, and
like, it's just like
the ass whooping.
And also, like, the history of the Elks over the last few seasons has been when they take a couple steps forward, they take 3 back or something. So I was waiting for Trey Ford's not there, and we'll probably have a post-game show going, that was a great season. We had a nice couple weeks.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that. And they sit there at 3-0 of the last 3 weeks. And, like, there is a buzz that is going to start building with this team moving forward. And it's wonderful to see. I saw an Elks jersey here tonight.
Yeah.
Someone was here betting on the ponies with an Elks jersey.
Yeah.
They were ready to go.
So can I ask you something then?
What if I said no?
I wouldn't care. I'd ask you anyways. Do you think this is a different team? Can you see it?
Yes. Here's where it's a different team, defensively.
Yeah.
It's defensive.
Yeah.
I have confidence when the defense comes on the field right now.
Good answer.
3-4 weeks ago, it was fingers crossed. Like, can they do this? Now it's like
can't stop a nosebleed.
I'm not sitting here going, they're going to get picked apart tonight.
Right.
Like, it's one. Yeah, they might give up yards. They might allow a long
4
drive.
turnovers.
They might allow that long drive. But
it's nice to see Joel DeBlanco get that turnover on special teams.
But there's a chance that either they're going to force a turnover or they're going to make you settle for a field goal.
Which they did twice tonight.
They're feeling very confident. They're feeling very good about that. So that's where, like, offense, not as much. Because you get that with Trey Ford. Like, tonight, I don't know. I had my moments with that offense where I'm just like, but defensively, I really feel it. Defensively, I really feel that they've changed.
Look, it says 9.7 on there now.
We're there.
Good job, everybody. We're doing it. We're doing it together. I know that sounds a little bit weird, but trust me, it's okay.
G-Bo, cue the John Wick clip. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. Elks are back. Bring on the playoff run.
Well, I got news for you. We are in a playoff run.
Well,
it started a little earlier this year, but we're in the midst of it right now.
And they have to keep rolling. Like, look, they didn't do any favors by starting 0-7. They put themselves in a really, really deep hole.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of room to stumble. That's where, like, they get Montreal to me. The rest of the way, there's not a lot. But after that, the path is. I know the path
is there.
It's Calgary, Winnipeg, Saskatchewan, Calgary, Toronto. I kept. Yeah, today I was saying Winnipeg's 3 times. It's Calgary that's 3 times.
They get Calgary 3 times. That is not a good football team.
They could beat Toronto at home.
Yeah, that's not a good football team.
Saskatchewan at home.
I'm just saying, like, this is a different football team than what we've seen.
And that's the thing. Like, Montreal is the toughest one. I'm going to throw that out there. I think that's an L. They can maybe afford one more loss.
Yeah.
Like, the overall in this, like, I don't think you can go. 8-10 would be tough to make the playoffs. Maybe it is good enough. Maybe 8-10 is good enough. No, I think it's good enough. Okay, so you get 3 losses the rest of the season.
8-10 in the West?
That's 3 losses this season. It all depends on what the other teams do.
8-10 would be, I'd say, yeah, 8-10. You're right, Matty. That might be.
It's on the edge. You're on the edge. So, but again,
I just want them to win 7 games.
That's 3 losses they can afford themselves. I'm giving up one of those losses next week potentially. If you beat Montreal, that's great. Like, amazing for many reasons. One, you just beat a top team. You've rolled 4 in a row. You're feeling really good. But if in the end, like, you lose that one, okay, you only have 2 more losses the rest of the season. Because of the hole you put yourself in, you have to run the table almost.
Yeah.
But
okay, so
you look at the schedule and you go, okay, I could see them losing maybe 1 of 3 to Calgary. It'd be tough to win all 3. Maybe you lose 1 to the Winnipeg, Sask, Toronto. Like, Toronto might be in the playoffs in the last game of the season. So you might have an easier chance at beating them. So maybe, yeah, you lose 1 to Winnipeg and Sask in a stretch, and boom, there you go. You win your other football games and you're in that playoffs.
Okay, so it is a good point brought up on the Nasty Chat by Johnny Alberta. If things get really tight in the West, then that also offers opportunity to go to the crossover. I do not believe in the Argonauts. They
but who do they got? I'm not going to say they stink. They might get Chad Kelly back soon.
Who cares?
He's a good quarterback.
It's not a good team.
He's an idiot, but he's a good quarterback. Now, he didn't get his reinstatement yet. Yesterday he spoke with the commissioner and there wasn't a resolution. But when he comes back, that is a team to watch out for. Okay, who do they get? They get Saskatchewan next week. They get Hamilton, Ottawa, BC, Hamilton, Montreal, Winnipeg, Ottawa, Edmonton. They go 500. They're a 9-win team.
Kind of nervous.
You got to be a 10-win team.
Kind of nervous that Sandy hasn't gotten excited yet. So here's the deal.
You're out. You lost your 20. I'll say that right now.
Well, I wanted to run it back from last week. He did good with that $10.
Yeah, but you lost this week.
I don't know. He hasn't told me I lost.
Exactly, you lost. We've been on the air for 44 minutes, and he hasn't come up to you saying we won.
I'll ask him.
Go ask him.
Sandy.
Don't yell with your mic on. Like, mute your mic, dude. Like, jeez. Yeah, Deacon St. John, Chad Kelly will make a huge difference. It does change things, but that's where, okay, so they go 500 or something. That they win, what do we have? I got to find my tab here quickly. They win 4 games, that's 9. The Elks have to be 10 wins to pass them, so I don't like the chances of that. Ottawa's only a couple of wins away. They're 2 wins away from being a 9-win football team. Montreal's already a 9-win football team, and again with the crossover, it's you have to outright pass them. I think it's a lot more difficult to think that they're going to be able to get in through a crossover. We lost a follower, a subscriber.
No,
we're down 1 subscriber. Somebody dropped it off.
Well, it said 9.7 on my.
Yeah, we're not there though. We need to get that back.
Jackass would do that.
But I do think that because of the rules of a crossover, where the tiebreaker is you have to be you need 1 more point than them. which effectively I don't expect to tie. You need to have one more win against them. It's not there for the Elks as much as I think the West is. And partly also because of that is the Elks play a lot of teams in the West. It's those 4-point games that are going to make a difference and why there's a playoff drive. It's the fact that they see the Calgary Stampeders 3 times. It's the fact that they see the Winnipeg Blue Bombers twice. It's the fact that they still play the Saskatchewan Roughriders one more time, and they have the season series if they win that. That's why the West is there and there's a playoff push. Because it's those 4-point games. That's what we're getting at here. The fact that you have Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal with where they are at, you now need help from other teams to beat them.
Yeah.
The Elks, to me, they control their own destiny still.
Well, that's how
as
any
weird
playoff
as that
push goes,
is.
though. Yes.
They control their own destiny. They go and win their football games. They're in the playoffs.
Yeah, they're at the top of the West Division if they win the rest of their game.
Well, not all, but like they go,
if they win the winnable game.
They go lose to Montreal. Yeah. They go lose again to Saskatchewan and Toronto, but they go beat at Winnipeg and Calgary. Those 5 games, there's a really good chance they're in the playoffs at that point. Because they took those points away from the other teams. You don't get that with the East. That's the problem of a crossover for me.
So, hashtag Sandy update. I said, how we doing, Sandy?
Back to 97. Sorry. And what did Sandy have to say?
He said, I haven't found the right race.
Oh, he hasn't bet yet.
And I'm like, well, dude, I only got like another 45 minutes.
I'll give props to Sandy.
Yeah. And he says,
don't just throw the money they just thought for the sake of it.
Where'd he go?
He's right there.
Oh, he's right there. Then now he's got a grin. He's got a big. Now we're in it.
Which race are we in? We're in the Woodbine Mohawk race.
Hey, Sandy, come into the screen and say hi to everybody. There he is.
There's Sandy.
There's Sandy right here.
There's our buddy Sandy.
All right, here, Sandy. Say into the mic what we're on here. What are we on?
We're on race 12 at Mohawk, and we're playing a super high 5, and we're trying to scoop the whole pool. That's about it.
There you go. You heard it here first. I don't know what he said.
I don't know what that is.
Super high 5?
And we're trying to sweep the whole pool. I play shows. I know a little bit of exactors, trifectas, and this guy's got some. What was that again?
Super high 5.
Going for the whole. My tape is not like people have destroyed my tape on the floor.
So bad.
Okay, that's
going
happening.
for the super high.
That's happening.
I assume that means it takes 5 races.
I got to see when this race is taking place.
No, it's 5 races. You got to pick the winner from 5 races.
Okay, I'll tell you. You're gonna have to find out next time we're here on Sunday. He couldn't just take one race. He's got to take.
I'm gonna be here until midnight.
At least you have no one to go home to.
Yeah.
You and Sandy
just
can
me
hang
and
out.
Sandy hanging out in the.
If you're Montenegro, Sandy knows what's good.
Oh my God.
Gasola, the wrench, switching accounts, going to let's go. He's in the nasty chat there. There you go. This is what happens when the Elks win. We can just have some fun. We can enjoy ourselves. We can have a good time. We can, because we're not mad. We're not upset about Chris Jones. We're not sitting here saying, why aren't you playing Trey Ford? We're just having a fun time. And you know how you can be having a good time? Come on down to Central Casino. We'll be here next Sunday. Green and Gold kickoff and postgame shows live from Central Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. Taking on the Owls. I think it's a 5 o'clock, which means 4 o'clock kickoff.
I like a good Sunday game.
Sunday, Surf and Turf is the special. They still have the cheese and jalapeno smoky on special on game days. We shared a pizza today. It was delicious.
It was really good.
That was a great pizza.
Well done.
It was good.
Right? You get the crunch of the bacon on top?
It was good.
I'll give you that. Greasy bacon?
I will give you that. No, it was absolutely.
Nice.
Their food's just, you never go wrong with their food.
Yeah.
My buddies are still here drinking and eating. We got a golf tournament tomorrow. They better be ready to go.
Sandy might become a cult classic. He is. What you saw of Sandy on camera is Sandy. He is just a beauty. He says he used to be on talk radio in Saskatchewan or something.
Elks defeat the Ticats 47-22. This is the Green and Gold post-game show live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. Those listening on YouTube, iHeartRadio, tune in, as well as those watching on YouTube. And to those listening to the podcast in the future from the past, hello. How are you? It's the Elks 3-7 on the season.
What's the weather like in the future?
Well, right now it's 19 degrees. Actually, I have to check what the forecast is going to be tomorrow for my golf tournament. I'll have to get into that a little bit later. But we still got an Elks game to talk about a little bit here. A little bit more time here in I don't know. Did you? You didn't answer. You asked me, and I answered. You said it was a good answer, but I said that do you see a different team out there with the Elks?
Yes.
Because I was saying yes. I went defensively though. Like, do you see a different team though?
Yeah. Well, and you know when it happened? It happened when they pulled Macbeth in the third quarter or fourth quarter of that game, and Trey Ford came in, and it was against Ottawa. You could say it was junk minutes. Hamilton, excuse me. But that team sparked, and it hasn't gone away. And when I see that team, I mean, offense, defense, special teams, all of them are playing very inspired football right now. And that's what it doesn't. That's the thing. And I've been on teams that are like this. That it just takes you getting your ass beaten up enough times and then you finally get off the schneid. You get rolling. You put things together, and you never know what's going to happen. So no, yes, this is a different team. It's a different mentality, and I can't help but think that this, maybe it was a fresh start once Chris Jones was removed from the team. I can't help but think it was. I know that the running game has certainly taken off. It has. No, it is. I feel it is a different team, Matty.
Since Trey Ford has come into the lineup in that game, the Edmonton Elks have scored 142 points. In that same time, they have allowed, I'm doing math on the fly here.
Dangerous.
I'm using a calculator, don't worry. 79 points. 142 to 79.
Wow.
In 3 games and a quarter.
Wow. That's like a 40%.
That's 13 quarters.
Yeah, that's
13 quarters.
That's
142
huge.
to 79.
Good grab.
That's almost the doubling up the opposition.
That's incredible. Wow. That really puts it in perspective then.
Like, they are absolutely rolling.
Sandy's back. 9 win. We're
Did
going
9
for the
win?
9.
Oh.
Gotta be Sandy. My guy.
Sandy just went, you can't stop me.
He's taking on his own. He's his own entity. It's like the aura. You can't stop me.
You can't stop me.
Matt and I talked
You can't.
all year, but we didn't know which was kitty corner from where Sandy was.
Yeah.
And it came back to me, and I'm like, I think it's Sandy.
Well, because I threw it, and like you're like,
Steve,
I forgot his
you said
name, and I was
Steve.
like, Steve, and then somehow you got Sandy.
So then I yelled from across the bar, Sandy! And he turned around, he's like, hey.
And you turned away. Like, it wasn't even to wave at him. You just yelled
terrible.
Sandy. He turns back. I had to be the one to wave at the guy. But in the end, you can't stop Sandy.
You can't stop him. So we will get Sandy on the headset at one point.
If the Elks blow out someone again this season,
He's coming on.
and we have nothing else, like, we just don't want to talk about a full blowout.
He's here every time we're here.
He wasn't here when we first got here, and I
Right.
was worried. I was sad because I wanted
Yes,
to see
you were.
Sandy. I want to know his name. And
Sandy's going back to the betting booth.
what do we have here? Charlie asking, should be a great game tomorrow. It'll say a lot about BC and Winnipeg. Dustin calling on TSN, right? Yeah, Dustin does have that call. So he won't be on the morning show on Monday, actually, because he'll have to fly back. So it's Gager and Milne with YouTube Trev on the morning show on Monday. So we'll have a lot to... We'll get you. They'll have you covered for that one. But that one's going to be a great game. But there's a lot of...
Who do we want to win tomorrow?
Well, I'd want BC.
I think you're right.
You want
Let them
Winnipeg
go
to stay
further up.
bad.
Let
You're
Winnipeg
gonna,
stay in the
here's the
weeds.
thing. Let BC just run. Let BC win the division.
Yeah.
Let's not worry about the division. Let BC go win the division. But they play Winnipeg, and then later in the season, I think they still have Calgary and Saskatchewan once each. Let them go win those football games.
I agree.
Take those losses away. Then go take care of... Like, if the BC Lions beat the Winnipeg Blue Bombers after this week, the Edmonton Elks are tied with the Bombers. They're 2 points back of the Calgary Stampeders, right? Don't allow the Bombers and the Stamps to be equal points, and you're 2 points back of them. Take as many points away from those two teams as possible, because they're the two teams you have to focus on initially. So I would want to have BC win that football game.
I think you're right.
Vera Montenegro, Sandy
Now
on the
you're
Hangout
playing
Monday.
defense.
I like that.
What?
Sandy on the Hangout Monday.
Oh, yeah.
We should get him. Actually, we might have to just bring him to hang out one time. I think it'd be fun having him on the hang out.
My boy Beulah, Jay Beulah, watching the post-game show, enjoying a cigar. Cool show, pal. Mr. Jason Beulah, you might go out in there and you go subscribe. Maybe then we can get our YouTube to 9.7001.
I'm too scared to bring it up again because I don't need someone to.
Thanks for watching, Jay. It means a lot.
I don't need somebody like
what?
I don't need someone unsubscribing. I don't want to bring up the subscribe.
Well, let's see it. Look at it.
It's right at 9,700. Or yeah, I don't want to. I'm scared someone's going to do the same thing again, so I don't want to look. So next week, where's this comment I wanted to get to? Because we're going to wrap up soon here. Andrew, statement win against Montreal, incoming with the OK emoji. Next week is a big statement game for the Edmonton Elks. It's a game where you could come out if you're this franchise and really stake your claim as we're legit.
Yeah,
we're coming for you. We're not afraid of anyone. We could beat anyone on any given day. And ultimately, what also I think helps the team is that there's no pressure to me in that game, because if you lose, it's you expected to lose.
You're right,
and that's.
But that's not how I'm wired. That's not how any.
You might not be, and I don't care.
Professional
I know the players aren't thinking about that. I don't care about that.
They're going in there thinking
I'm talking about us media. We're in the media.
I know. But here's the thing.
And that's where I think this is a great spot for the Elks, because it could be a statement
everybody thinks
win.
They're going to lose.
It's going to be a great statement win, or it's one onto Labor Day. We just go on to Labor Day as long as they don't get blown out.
So then Montreal starts to get in their head. Maybe this dull set 3-7 teams coming up against a 9-1 juggernaut.
So. No.
I know, but
Jason Moss.
Yeah, that's true.
No.
He's a badass.
The next week, the week after, they get a bye week. They're not going to focus on that bye week. Jason Moss sees Edmonton. He's probably seeing this 3-game win streak, and he's going to have his team ready to go. They're also pissed off probably because people are thinking that their win is fraudulent from yesterday.
Montreal, yeah.
Yeah.
Which it is.
I wouldn't say it's fraudulent. It would have been 3rd and 2. They kicked a field goal. It's overtime. Brett Lawler also missed kicks. It's not like that's why they won it's not like they were going to lose right there. They would have kicked the field goal. If they make the field goal, it's a tie football game. Maybe they go for 3rd and 2 and win.
Tube Socks tuning in from St. Albert. Great show, boys.
Any final thoughts?
You know what? At the end of the day, they committed to the run game 3 games in a row. Matt, where does that get them? 3 victories. It's not rocket science. Those are my parting shots.
The Edmonton Elks, they defeat the Hamilton Tiger Cats 47-22. They're 3-7 on the season. The last time they won 3 straight games in a season, it was 2018. I think that was also the last season they put up this many points. Putting up 47 tonight out in Hamilton. Up next Sunday, they are in Montreal to take on the Montreal Alouettes. That game is 5 o'clock Edmonton time, which means 4 o'clock live right here at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge, where every day is game day. Myself and Jay Milne, we will be here with the Green and Gold kickoff and post-game shows live right here on your clear choice for Edmonton sports, Edmonton Sports Talk. Come on down, join us. Cheese and jalapeno smokies, the game day special, and on Sundays their daily special, $11.99 at Surf and at Turf. You're not going to want to miss that. You're not going to want to miss watching the game. And look at this wall of TVs behind us going. Look, they got the UFC pay-per-view going right behind me as well that you've been able to watch on this Green and Gold kickoff
Fraudulently.
show. Well, no, it just happened. Actually, it's framed very perfectly. Like, people could watch that completely perfectly, and they don't have to pay for a cent. That's all because of Century Casino. They do that for you. But there it is. Another big win for the Edmonton Elks. We'll get you covered on that throughout the upcoming week here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Tomorrow, reminder, it's the VIP Golf Show with Murray McCourt, Curtis Stock. That gets going at 8 o'clock. And then Monday morning, YouTube Trev, Joaquin Gage, Jay Milne, they got the Nielsen Show. And another week to get you set for, we'll find out what's happening Monday maybe, or if not Tuesday, the offer sheets.
Well, Dustin's not back Monday.
I don't know, but he's going to be back for the rest of the week. But then the offer sheets. We're going to be on tune for that on Monday. We've got a CFL week to prepare for. The F1 is back. There's a lot to come on Edmonton Sports Talk next week. Thanks to everyone for jumping in to the nasty chat. For those jumping into the Paris Jewelers inbox, as well as Sorry, I've just got to set something up here quickly. For those that jumped into the Paris Jewels inbox, 780-218-9999. For those that just tuned in tonight or in the future, for those listening to us, hi from the past once again. On behalf of Jay, I'm Matt. Thanks for tuning in to the Green and Gold post-game show. Elks have won 3 in a row. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night. I will talk with you on Monday.